So the countdown to this year's World Cup is well and truly on as 32 nations combine to create the greatest sporting spectacular on the bloody planet. But in this video, I'm going to try and answer you one simple question. Can Germany win this year's World Cup? That's right, folks, back once again with another World Cup summary video. That's right, where we're going to try and answer one simple question. Can this nation actually go out and win the World Cup out in Qatar? We'll take a look at it, all of it, in a second. Of course, if you're new, where you been, smash your subscribe button, bang it, all things World Cup related, Black and Rovers related, world football itself related. We got it all here, boys, under one roof. Of course, the countdown is well and truly on, with the tournament set to kick off in November 2022, of course. But what's going to happen this coming World Cup? We'll take a look at all of it in a second. Of course, big shout out to my VIPs. They are the patrons, of course. And if you are interested in helping out the channel in another way, check out the links down below. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Twitch, I'm on Patreon. And of course, there's a Discord in there. So get in amongst it and let's get chatting. Well, it is, of course, my nation. It is Germany. That's right. Hoping to make a 5th star on the badge there, of course, as they enter Qatar 2022. Let's take a look at how they got there, of course, via their passage. They qualify as Group J winners over in the UEFA qualifying phase, of course, and as you see from the graphic there, it's actually quite a convincing ride for Germany. They did suffer a surprise defeat against North Macedonia, who came in second spot and actually caused a ruckus later on in the tournament by knocking out Italy, but of course their journey was ended. Against Portugal. We'll elaborate on that when, of course, Portugal come into the phase, of course. But a difficult group, none the same. Iceland, of course, have been in the spotlight recently and have had a good bit of a recent rise in the world footballing pyramid. Of course, Romania have got a bit of talent brewing as well, and they're trying to get back to the spotlight as well. But of course, North Macedonia with surprise dark horses in this group. Germany, though, no nonsense, 27 points on the board in the end, and with convincing wins against Armenia, Liechtenstein, and of course just a couple of goals conceded along the way. They qualified on the 11th of October 2021. It's the 20th tournament as a whole. Now, of course, there's a weird letter up there. That's, of course, we're talking about Germany as a collective unit here. Of course, this does also include West Germany, when they, of course, won it on multiple occasions, of course. Last time around, they were there in Russia 2018. They were shit, though. They were garbage. Of course, there's been 18 tournaments as a whole for Germany, with the best winning it in 1954, 74, 90, and, of course, 2014, when they won the first title as Germany as a United Nation. So can they make it a second for Germany as a United Nation? You know what, when you look at the group, it is a very old difficult group, isn't it? Of course, manager is Hansi Flick. I don't even know if Hansi Flick has suffered a defeat as German manager, so he's going to go into the tournament with a bit of confidence. And of course, the VIP for me is, of course, shithouse merchant, colourful character, experienced head on his shoulders, goal-scoring supremo, Tommy Muller. That's right, he is my key man for me. He might be getting on a bit, he might even start the games, but him being involved with this World Cup is an absolute must for Germany. It's not a guarantee, but of course, if he keeps providing the reasons to be included, then he'll be there in Hansi Flick's 26 when they're announced, of course, closer to the tournament. Of course, let's take a look at the group. Then it is Group E. Would they say this is the group of death? I think either this or Group H is the group of death, but I don't, to be honest with you. It's two juggernauts, two former winners of the tournament, and then two teams that could cause some problems. And Germany just have to return the clock back 4 years to Russia, where they were there as champions and they were outfoxed by South Korea, they were outfoxed by Mexico, and they were done over by Sweden as well. So they were bitten hard last time around. They need a response. They need a performance again. Even at Euro 2020. They were shit. They were ghastly. They got embarrassed. They got turned over. They were lucky to make it to the knockout stages, but they got found out pretty easy. So Germany are on a moment. They're in a moment here that they need to show that they're back. They're contenders. They're contenders not only for this World Cup, but they're contenders for future World Cups and future European Championships in the next 10 years. Hansi Flick has been brought in to bring a high tempo attacking style of football, and he's done okay so far. And of course, the build up between now and the World Cup will see Germany take on, of course, England and co in the Nations League to see if they've got the players, the credentials to be long-lasting contenders in this year's tournament in Qatar. So let's take a look at the group. Of course, the key match is, of course, the second match for Germany. That's up against Spain, of course, with basically, you win that game, you've pretty much got yourself a top spot in this group. Now, that's not saying that they're not going to drop points against Costa Rica or Japan, but you win that game, that's 3 points in the bag, and you could pick off a couple of points. You could draw the other two, and that put you through with 5 points, none the same. So that is why I'm saying that's the key match. You could probably lose that game and still qualify, but you win that game, and you put yourself in the driving seat to go through as group winners, and who knows. Of course, Germany will kick us all off against Japan. Again, we'll talk about Japan in their own video, but decent nation out of Asia, but have they got the individuals, the skill to cause Germany problems? Now, again, we just turned the clock back 4 years to South Korea, who did cause problems, and of course the fight, the desire, the individual skill of maybe some key players for South Korea were the difference maker between themselves and Germany. The passion was there. Can Japan find that passion this time around and cause another shock? Again, there's always shocks and surprises in World Cups, whether it happens in the group stage or whether it happens in the knockout stages. But and then of course Germany will wrap it up against Costa Rica, who I think might be riding on previous successes or previous performances at World Cups. I think we could see them getting turned over quite convincingly by the likes of Spain and Germany in this group. I think Costa Rica, don't get me wrong, were contenders to qualify outright, but I think a lot of the personnel, the Brian Ruiz, the Joel Campbell, are players of a generation or two ago. They've been in the spotlight for Costa Rica for a long time, and I just don't think they have the other individuals to compete in this group. So realistically, I think Germany should have enough to get through this. Again, it will all fall down onto the monster game against Spain, which of course all eyes will be on that on the 27th of November. So that's of course the build up for that, but of course kicking off against Japan, Spain, and then competing against Costa Rica. But hopefully for Germany and a Spain point of view, both sides, both nations will have of course 4 points heading into their final games and the respective targets. So the odds for Germany to qualify 6-1 on. They are convincing favourites to qualify, and to win it they're actually 10-1. Are they more favoured than Spain? Are they more favoured than any of the juggernauts? We'll have to wait and see. But I think I'm ready for you, Linda. What you got for me?
Can they win the World Cup? Can
they win the World Cup? Yes, indeed. I do think they can be contenders. They should be in that final 8, of course, and be in the mix. I think the Hansi Flick era for Germany is definitely revitalised, rejuvenated, and reborn, I think. And I think Germany can cause some problems when we get to the latter stages. Traditionally, Germany can fare well, even when, I remember, in a competition where they hosted, I think Klinsmann was the manager. They finished 4th, I think, in that tournament. Correct me if I'm wrong. But even with a shit team back then, and not even the greatest coach, Germany just somehow find to do it. Of course, that wasn't represented last round, of course, with the jinx in full effect for Germany, but this is the chance to respond under new eyes with some new youth coming through. There's a lot of young players, exciting players for Germany coming through the ranks, and again, this might be one tournament too early for them. I think they'll fancy the chances in 2026, but I think they're going to cause some problems here along the way, and it could even make the semi-finals, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Will they win the World Cup?
Will they win the World Cup? Linda's asking me for that. I'd love to say yes. I really would. I don't think they will this time around. I think they're gonna be there. They're gonna be in the back end of it. I'm gonna say quarterfinals for Germany. Maybe, just maybe, if I'm excited enough, they might make the semi-finals. If they make the semi-finals, then who bloody knows? But for me, I think they will bow out. Quarterfinals, if I'm completely honest with you. I just think that final 8, there's going to be 2 or 3 nations that are going to be just too good, too switched on, and have those key players, your Messis, your Benzema's, not even your Lewandowski's, but of course your Neymar's and stuff like that. There's going to be too many high class individuals, because when you look at Germany as a whole, they've got some aging players in there. Muller, Neuer, of course, who wears a captain's armband, and there are some young guns in there, but there's no sort of superstar standout coming out who's scoring all the goals and becoming a record breaker. There's no Klose these days. There's no Klinsmann leading the charge. They do need an out-and-out goal scorer to take over from the likes of Tommy Muller, because Tommy Muller's getting on a little bit. Well, he's definitely getting on a little bit, and of course this will probably be his last World Cup. But is there somebody in the ranks? Germany has struggled with a striker for a long time, and they need that to be realistic superstar contenders for the future. But that, my friends, is it. I'm going to go quarterfinals for Germany in Qatar 2022. So there you have it, folks. There you bloody have it. A short, sharp take on this nation's chances out in Qatar 2022. What do you expect this country will do in this year's tournament? Do you think they'll get out of the group stages, or do you think they'll go deep, deep, deep into the competition itself? Let me know your opinion down below. And of course, we'll look forward to non-stop coverage right here at Blackburn Overseas. We're going to have, of course, predictions, previews, reviews, reactions, and of course, reactions from real fans themselves, of course. So that's all to look forward to this year out in Qatar 2022. So make sure you smash your subscribe, smash the thumbs up, and smash the little bell, boys and girls, as we look forward to a fantastic winter, or at least late 2022 of world football. Let me know your thoughts and opinions again about this nation, and of course the tournament itself in the comment section. But until then, guys and girls, I'll see you soon for the next one.